Good evening, everybody. Gourd King here with some Batman Arkham City, where we will be playing pretty much the finale of this game. And then on to Arkham Knight. I want to clarify, yesterday while I was playing, I said I might play the rest of this and then just go ahead and start Arkham Knight on a separate stream. That's not going to be the case. I'm not going to do that. I have been editing literally the entire day. So that I have to go back to, so I will not be doing this beyond this game tonight.
Bruce, are you okay? The tower just exploded.
I noticed.
I have already downloaded it. Right. Hey, what's up, James?
Ra's al Ghul was the power behind Hugo Strange.
James. Today has been a lot of editing.
Let's just say he's going to need a trip to a Lazarus pit.
There's been a lot of editing. My gosh.
I'll get back to you. Something's come up.
And I'm not even done yet.
Hello, Batman.
Close.
I know you can hear me.
But not quite.
I've not caught you at a bad time, have I?
This Star Wars review is by far and away the hardest thing I've ever done.
Take a look at your girlfriend, who, as you can see, is in danger of
'Tis a
having
beast.
pretty little brains splattered all over this camera.
Ignore him, beloved. Let him die.
Oh, how romantic. Only problem is, I've never felt...
But anyway, did you enjoy the games today?
You really can't ignore me, can you? So listen, Batman, I'm putting on a little show for you. It's going to be a doozy, a real red carpet affair. You'd better hurry, though. If you take too long, the leading lady may be found dead in her dressing room.
But anyway, that all played out last night, or when I was playing, so that was like a previously on.
Return to base immediately.
But anyway, I was going over the fact that I'm only going to go ahead and just finish this game tonight. I'm not going to be jumping straight into Arkham City later after this, because I still have the rest of that review to finish.
Where are you, Batman?
Very close to being done. Probably got about 5 minutes worth of footage left to edit down. You know, add clips to, all that good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I picked both games correctly, so I guess I felt good there. I mean, I even picked the closeness of the Chiefs-Jags game. I thought that would be a good game, just that the Chiefs would ultimately win, which they did. Wasn't surprised. And I'll be honest, I was really surprised last night when Aaron picked New York to win. I was like, seriously, you buy them to pull this off? I honestly have not figured out why they don't really buy Philadelphia this year. I think Philadelphia's a good team. I think they have a legit shot at winning the Super Bowl. I mean, I still like San Francisco more, but Philly's a really good football team. So I don't really get why no one's taking them seriously.
Well, this is just rude, Batman. I've laid on all this entertainment at the movie theater, and you can't even be bothered turning up.
Alright, who next? That guy looks like he looks all nexty. Gotta level up. Be all tech man. Yeah. Yeah, I've watched Philly a lot this year. I don't know why they kept showcasing them in my area, but they did. And yeah, I've bought into them. Like I said, they're not my favorite to win, but I definitely think they've got a shot.
Hello,
good defense, good offense, difficult to guard, difficult to defend quarterback. I mean, he's not Patrick Mahomes or anything, but he's pretty dang good. You know, he's a good player. But anyway, I think I'm pretty positive I'm going to have my Phantom Menace review out tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure what time. Usually I release things at noon. I'll be shooting for that. But I have a suspicion that it'll get copyright claimed and I'll have to edit around wherever they say those are at. I mean, I am taking a few risks with it in terms of what I've put in it. So you have to be extremely meticulous about how you add footage, add music, that kind of stuff. Like, just the prospect of putting Star Wars music in it is daunting, because you know they want to flag that, but I think from what I've seen from Star Wars videos that use it, that the trick is to keep the volume on it really low while you're talking over it, and never go more than, I guess, 5-6 seconds without doing so. So that's kind of what I've done. So I like the idea of having that playing in the background, and I think I've utilized it well. But yeah, it's a very challenging video, very challenging, but fun. I've had a lot of fun doing it. But I am ready for it to be over so I can move on to the next one. Yeah, that would be rough. Eagles Chiefs would be a pretty rough one to have to deal with. But I can't deny it's possible.
I get it. You want me to off this annoying woman, right? I mean, she does.
Plus, I'm not picking the Chiefs to win the whole thing, but I am not going to be remotely surprised if they do it.
But you owe me, okay?
They're a really good team, and Patrick Mahomes is a really good player, and I feel like it would be so unsurprising for him, of all people, to be the one to break the so-called Super Bowl curse for MVPs. But we'll see. We will see. I'm hoping Buffalo or Cincy knocks them out. I think they're very beatable. I don't think Kansas City is unbeatable. Honestly, if Jacksonville had executed their offense better, they could have won. Jacksonville's going to be good in the coming years if they manage their personnel right.
Let's just talk about this.
Now you want to talk. Too late, Batman.
Give me the cure! But you've already got the cure. Talia, no!
Problem solved.
You didn't need to.
Why? You would never do it. You left me no choice.
There's always a choice.
I had to save you. Harley Quinn stole it for him. I took it back. It's over.
Yeah, they did.
Surprise!
Mr. J, you look perfect.
Ring, ring. So how do you keep a secret from the world's greatest detective? Well, do you know? You stick it right in front of him, right under his long, pointy nose. And wait.
Joker wants you to think he's sick. Then wait. Gotcha.
You fell for the old fake Joker gang, Batman.
Talia!
Oh. I'm sorry, beloved. I didn't know.
Encore! More! Bravo!
It wasn't never you.
Not always. Well, sometimes. Confusing, isn't it? I
I know I'd want to know just what the hell is going on if I were you. Let's just say, at times like these, it's important to keep up appearances. But first, if you would be so kind, hand over my jaw.
It's the muddy guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, for one night only, standing in for yours truly, I'm doing a damn fine job of it. I give you...
Joker with carbs.
You weren't even supposed to be in here, Carl. Why sign up with Joker?
The role of a lifetime!
One last chance.
Oh, lighten up, bats. The final act's just starting. It's a doozy.
Encore!
If you notice, Batman's doing the Mahomes sidearm right now. Yeah. Crap. Crap.
What are you doing? That's cheating! What the hell are you doing, Bat?
Hacky, hacky, hacky!
You're supposed to be
Yeah, I know, I thought so too.
Remember?
I mean, personally, I don't care if their excuse is built in or legit, because I just want them to lose, but I really don't care, so lose all you want. Oh, phooey. Yeah, you know, I'm sorry if Brady beating a better Jags team with a gashed hand is not a big deal, I don't think this is that big a deal. I mean, I didn't want him hurt, obviously. Oh yeah. Yow. Hammer time. There we go.
What are you doing?
There we go. Get the sword. Get hacky. It kind of does.
You're making me late for my spa treatment. I mean, it's not like you've got a girl to save anymore, is it?
Wow, Joker. Low blow.
Sorry.
Oh, like, I thought the funniest meme I saw was, someone made a comparison about how, you know, Mahomes could make, you know, a fairly standard throw, and, like, Collinsworth was like, oh, that's amazing. And then that early, like, deep ball that Lawrence threw, which was near perfect, he would say, oh, he overthrew that. And I'm like, he didn't overthrow that at all. What are you talking about? That wasn't remotely overthrown. It's Batman Revengeance. Yeah, It's infuriating listening to commentators when they talk about Mahomes, because I'm like, look, I know he's amazing and I like watching him, but not every single thing he does is amazing. Some things are just standard quarterback stuff, and that's fine. It's like, he makes more than enough great plays to just go crazy when they happen. You don't have to call standard plays like, oh my gosh, only he can do that. Like, that's not quite true. There's a lot of guys who can do that stuff now. Could you throw it already? This boss fight's annoying. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh. Batman took a dive into Mudman. Alright. Well, I beat it. That was fast. Yeah, and it's okay to, like, go crazy for that. I mean, that run that the Chiefs had in 2019 where they were having all those comebacks, I mean, that was fantastic. I mean, that's a great Super Bowl run. Now, if you're going to mention that, you have to mention at the same time that he was terrible for 3/4 of the Super Bowl. You know? Because what's funny to me is, like, you know, like, okay, Brady's Super Bowl MVP in 2001. Anybody knows that, okay, that's not a spectacular Super Bowl MVP performance. You know, it was kind of just one of those instances where you had to give it to someone. And we all know that, and that can be acknowledged. Mahomes won for the same reason, but they just characterize him as, oh, he's a Super Bowl MVP. Not, he wasn't great in the Super Bowl, he just happened, it's like, oh, they just didn't really know who else to give it to. It was just, oh, well, he won the Super Bowl MVP, it's amazing. It's like they'll give context to anybody else. It's silly.
Just break out and do it again.
Think of it as a running gag.
Oh, Joker. Oh, Joker. I think that Ravens game is one of the most underrated performances of his career and for the Patriots. I mean, because they overcame 14 points twice, which is as good as coming back from 28 down.
That actually is pretty funny.
I mean, that's more or less the same thing. And that was a dang good Baltimore team, too. And it took everything they had to come back in that game. That game is wildly underrated. You know, Brady's only been doing comebacks his whole career. Oh, yeah, and look. Poor Joker. Joker died! I'll tell you this honestly was one of the most surprising video game endings I've ever seen. I was like, they actually killed the Joker? What the heck? I couldn't believe it. But it was a really dang good twist.
All units coordinate.
What the hell happened in there?
He was sick, and he didn't make it.
Batman! What happened?
He's like, do you see my suit, Jim? I've got bat nipples to repair. It's not gonna be easy. Yep. What's up, Jalen? It's honestly it's a little bit late in the stream because as soon as these credits are all, I'm pretty much going to be done. This is only going to be a short stream where I finish this game because I've got to finish my I got to finish a video I'm editing. But yeah, wanted to come back on here and finish up Arkham, talk a little bit about the games today, which were. I wouldn't say they were great. I mean, the Kansas City-Jacksonville one was pretty good, but whew, that Philly-New York one was trash. But I didn't. Next game I'm playing is Arkham Knight. I'm doing the whole trilogy, so I've already. I just finished downloading Arkham Knight, so I'll be doing that one next. So that'll be fun. Do I react to movie? Well, I mean, I do movie reviews. I do like first time reaction reviews, but not like those live like watch me react to stuff. I don't do that really. I've thus far only done one. They're on my channel. They're called Take One, where I see a movie one time and then I tell you about it. The only one I've done so far is the second Avatar. I have a couple of movies I've already got lined up that I'd like to do, including I might actually do a Take One after the Phantom Menace review because Take One's not really a review. It's more just giving my initial thoughts on something I've seen, but I don't do full-blown reviews of movies I've only watched once because I don't like that people do those in the first place. I don't feel like you can properly review a movie after watching it one time. At least not in my opinion. That's just me, though. Maybe somebody who has a great memory could do that, but, you know, like one of those eidetic memories. But yeah, I have a lot of reviews up on my channel.
You have one missed call.
I've got 6 full-blown reviews. They're under See It Twice. And then I've got one Take One for Avatar. Honestly, I think really, going to your comment, James, I mean, for every one comeback that Mahomes has, Brady has more like, well, you said multiple. I thought you said 2, yeah. Brady has multiple, yeah. He's got like, for every Mahomes comeback, Brady has like 3 or 4. He has a lot of them. Brady has more comebacks than a lot of quarterbacks will ever play games.
For it's true, you are my destiny. When you hold my hand, I understand.
Yeah, he did. Patrick came back in. He came back in at the beginning of the second half. He still looked a little, still looked like he was hurting, but they were acting like he was dying. Once you could see he could, more or less move okay on it, it was like, okay, it's not that big a deal. He's hurting, but I've seen guys play through worse. They even compared it to the flu game, to Michael Jordan's flu game, and I just. That's where I was like, okay, guys, this is insane. It's like you're all killing me with this. He had already had X-rays. They came back negative. It's like, guys, he's hurting. Okay, that sucks, but he'll be fine. Guys get beat up. It happens. It is. It's so silly. I was like, Brady gashed open his throwing hand. They're like, big deal. Patrick, hurts his leg. And they're like, oh, it's like the flu game. Yeah, it's like they taped him up, and it's like, he's okay. He'll live. Now, granted, when I saw the actual slow-mo of the injury, I was like, yeah, that could possibly be bad, but once you're seeing that he's moving and he's playing, it's like, okay, well, it's clearly not that bad. He's playing on it. If it were really bad, he wouldn't be playing on it. But it's like the flu game. It's like he went out there with just one leg. No, I'm fine with that. They're like, oh, it's not a concussion, but I'm like, okay, but they want to make sure that, I have no problem with them taking him out briefly in a close, it's like, they had the lead, and it's like, hey, get checked, see if it's okay, you're fine, and hey, it's like, they did score, so it's like, I can't question Andy Reid on that. He scored. He's a great enough offensive coach to where if you put a backup in for a little while, they'll be fine. So, if he didn't have a competent backup, okay, maybe, but he's a competent backup, and they scored with him, and he's that good of an offensive coach, so it worked. It worked. If it were in New England and his backup's like Brian Hoyer, it's like, yeah, okay, you might not be able to afford to do that. If your quarterback's begging you to be out there, it's like, hey, I'll be fine. No, and that's fine, but I can't say anything to Andy Reid about it. He scored, they won. I mean, so yeah, really, and he scored on a 98-yard drive. I mean, Andy Reid's just that good a play caller to where it's like, even without Patrick, I mean, it's, and this is not the whole Patrick's a system quarterback thing, but it's like, guys, you should be able to look at that drive, that 98-yard drive that Henny put together, and you're like, guys, Patrick's in a fantastic situation, and he always has been. His coach is a genius. If he can put together a 98-yard drive with your backup, you've got a great coach. You have the best, I mean, they've got the best coach in football. I mean, he's easily the best coach in football. I mean, you can criticize it all you want. I'm just saying, so. I mean, you can feel however you want to feel about it, but I doubt anybody in KC would care. They'd be like, oh, we won, so what? It's like, at the end of the day, they won the game. I don't think Tomlin's even close. I think Tomlin's a great coach, but Tomlin's had a lot of great teams, and, you know, it's like, okay, he's never had a losing season. That's fantastic. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, I'm not questioning how great a coach he is, but I would take Andy Reid easily. You just look at what they're doing. They're the most feared team in the NFL right now. They're going to their 5th straight AFC Championship game. All he needed was a quarterback. And yeah, he is a good GM. Well, I would say he's a good GM. I would not call him a great GM. I think Tomlin has one massive flaw in his managing, and that's he does not know how to put together an offensive line. He is bad at that was the problem with Big Ben. Big Ben got hit a ton and was briefly the most sacked quarterback in NFL history. And unlike Brady, who's 45, Ben retired before 40. So he got sacked a ton. And Ben was hard to take down. So I would more say Tomlin is a very good GM. Part of what makes him good at it, part of what I think makes him good at it is he has people around him that he listens to, which is the mark of a good general manager. Can't just be the lone voice in the room. But they still haven't figured out how to put together an offensive line. But I personally, I would take Andy Reid as coach. I guess you can make an argument for Tomlin being more the total package thing, because obviously Andy Reid is not the general manager, though I'm sure he has some input. But as far as play calling and all that good stuff, I'd take Andy Reid. I think, he's ironed out the things he used to not be good at. He's really good at delegating, the duties of his various coordinators. Yeah. He's probably the most brilliant offensive mind since Bill Walsh. That's part of it, but they also, if you look at the rate of quarterback pressure, if you look at the pressure rate that Ben faced, it wasn't he was not somebody who had a lot of time to throw the ball all the time. He very often would have to get, to either move around or get rid of it quickly. They had offensive line problems all the time. Because they've had those problems even with Big Ben off the field with the other quarterbacks then. Well, James, he's planning on top 5 to 10 quarterbacks who inherited the best situation. Yeah, that'd be interesting. There may not be. Tomlin's a great motivator. I'll give Tomlin this much: he gets a lot. He gets a lot out of little. That Pittsburgh team he went 9-8 with. I am very impressed that they went 9-8, because that did not look like a very good roster, Andy had a brand new quarterback. Somehow they mustered up a winning record. That's fantastic. So I'm not questioning Tomlin as a great coach, but if I had my preference, I'll take Reed. Well, I wouldn't say he's always had a top 5 running back. I mean, he doesn't have one now. Hasn't had one in Kansas City with Mahomes yet. He's had decent running backs. I think they've. I mean, Edwards-Helaire is. I don't think he's very good, but the guy they've got now, he's pretty good. Not top 5 though. But I'll take Reed. I mean, with the Eagles, he had a fantastic one, but I think part of it is also the way the game has changed suits Andy Reid really well. Now, Reid was a great coach before the game changed. You know, obviously he took the Eagles to several NFC Championship games. He took them to a Super Bowl, but I wouldn't have called Andy Reid like like a top 2 or 3 or 4 best coach in the league back then. The way the game has changed to be more offense friendly, now he's the best coach, or he's pretty much the best coach in the league now because the league is suited to guys like him. But yeah, I mean it's kind of one of those things where it's just okay. The league adjusted and it suits guys like him better. I mean it's just he's a man for his current time, I guess. Which is kind of why it's difficult to always judge coaches against, the greatest coaches against each other, because it's like, okay, what kind of era were they in? Bill Belichick's going to go down, as the greatest or one of the 2 or 3 greatest coaches of all time, but obviously, as the league's changed, he doesn't look as good. And as he lost Brady, he doesn't look as good. But, the league is more suited for guys who coach like Andy Reid. Well, I mean, I would say this: Tomlin is in, I think, a tougher division than Andy. I think the AFC North is probably the toughest division in the AFC right now, because even their worst team in Cleveland has a ton of talent, so they can still jump up and beat you at any moment. Whereas, there's a lot of talent and stuff in the AFC West, but there's very little consistency with the other 3 teams. I mean, the Chargers are not well coached. Denver's horribly coached. The Raiders they're the Raiders. They're a mess. Whereas, okay, the Browns aren't very good, but Raiders aren't very good, and they have a lot of talent. Or the Browns aren't very good, but they have a lot of talent. Baltimore's good. Cincy's great. Pittsburgh's really good. If Tomlin had Brady, they would have won. That's very possible. I can't discount that possibility. I think there are question marks, obviously, but he would have been playing with better weapons, that's for sure. But again, I think he would have been playing with worse offensive lines. But then again, Brady is better at getting the ball out quickly. But plus, Brady helps his O-line a lot. Aaron was talking about that last night with, a lot of offensive linemen who've played with Brady. The one guy who had played with Brady and Manning said Brady does more at the line of scrimmage to help his O-linemen to move around. But I can't discount that possibility that if he had been with Pittsburgh, he would have won 6 or more. I can't discount that possibility with that coach, but then again, you have to keep this in mind though. He wouldn't. Brady wouldn't have always had Tomlin, would? I mean, Cowher. He would have had Cowher for a little while, wouldn't he? So that would have been interesting. Because what year did Tomlin start there? I mean, I know he's been there a long time, but I'm trying to remember when he actually started. I think Pittsburgh will be much better. I can never confidently say that Cleveland will be better because they're Cleveland. Okay, 2007. So Brady would have been under, I guess, Bill Cowher for 6 years. Which, granted, Cowher was a really good coach. I think Cowher was a tad bit overrated, but... Well, Watson, I mean, I'm not worried about Watson necessarily as far as his talent level. I mean, he obviously was shaking off a lot of rust, but I don't think he's lost his ability altogether. I don't know how good their coaching is, and they're the Browns. It's one of those things where until you actually do it, I'm going to have a hard time trusting you. So, we'll see what they do. I think it's very possible they'll be better, but I can never say for sure with them because that's who they are. So they're going to have to prove me wrong first. I think Baltimore, we'll see about Lamar. Don't really know yet what's going on there. They seem confident they're going to keep him, but we'll see. Well, the Bengals, obviously the thing they did well was they drafted Joe Burrow, and well, I'll tell you what, if they franchise Lamar, they're going to piss him off, because Lamar does not want to be franchised. Now, if they do, that's, we'll see what happens. But I don't think they're going to make him happy if they franchise him. If they franchise him, then my guess is that they're going to end up having to trade him, because if they franchise him, I think he's going to ask to be left out, to be traded out of there. So it'll be a question of who's going to make a bid for him, which they could get a lot for him. Get quite a lot for him. I agree, James. I think right now, it's Cincy's division. But how long it'll be their division, I don't know. But I think it is for now, because they're really good now, and I don't know if people realize this, Cincy has a lot of cap room next year. They've got I think they got top 5 cap space next year. So as good as they are now, they can keep building. They're going to be able to actually add to that team next year, which is a crazy thought. Well, they can franchise tag him, but obviously Lamar can sit down if he wants. So there's always the dual leverage thing where it's like, look, we own the rights to you, we can franchise you, all that, and he's like, well, I don't have to suit up either. So it's that kind of tug of war. Now, would Lamar sit out? I don't know. It's hard for me to see that in him. He's never come off that way. But I think he wants to be there personally. I think he likes Baltimore. I think it's just a contract dispute, really. I think that's where he wants to be. And I think that they're moving on from their current offensive coordinator because if I had to guess, I think Lamar wants a Brian Daboll type who's going to coach him to pass more and help him with this throwing more. Because Daboll helped Josh Allen a lot. He's having a positive effect on Daniel Jones. I think Lamar wants something like that. Someone who can help him become a better, short passer. Yeah, I don't think most quarterbacks are like Watson. I would agree with you there. It's like Watson got his way, I guess, as far as, getting traded, but let's be honest, if that whole situation hadn't become what it became, who knows what would have happened? I mean, they were only able to trade him after it was like, okay, he's not going to jail or anything. So now we can start making trades for him. We'll see who got the better end of the deal. I mean, Houston obviously has a ton of draft capital moving forward, but they're obviously years away from doing anything productive with it. I mean, if you're Houston, all that you got for Deshaun, it's all for naught if you don't figure out who your quarterback is. Oh, of course. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, Watson got to handpick where he was going, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Cleveland, why would you do that?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's a crazy amount of money to guarantee for a quarterback who has his issues. That's a lot of money." And it's a lot of money to give to a guy who's a fairly mobile quarterback. Now, granted, he's more of a passer than he is a mobile quarterback, but... Oh, no, you're definitely right. Watson, I'm sure, is sleeping just fine as far as that whole thing is going. It's like, yeah, he gets all that money no matter what. He gets to go home with that money no matter what. And that is a lot of guaranteed money. And I think that's what Lamar is like, hey, I don't have any of his issues, so pay up. I think that's Lamar's mindset right now. Is he sees the deal that Watson got, and he's like, okay, guys, come on. I don't have those problems. I've been playing. Let's do this. That's my guess. Because like I said, I think he wants to be in Baltimore. I think he wants to be there. I think he likes it there. I think he likes that they built the team around him. I think he likes that Harbaugh's behind him. So, if I had to guess, I think he'll end up there and they'll figure it out. They got a long time to figure it out. I would be surprised if they don't. Yeah, Russell got a crazy big deal too. And now, I would say this. Denver doing that deal was terrible. That was a terrible idea for them to do that before they had actually seen him in that system. Because he already had money coming to him from the Seattle deal that they inherited. So they had time to consider things. No, I mean, I do get why the Browns did it, because, I mean, the Browns have a lot of talent on their roster, and they were like, what are we missing? We're missing a franchise quarterback. And if you have a great quarterback, what do you have? With that kind of talent around him, what do you have? You have a Super Bowl window open for you. So, if they have everything working in cohesion, and if their coach is good, jury's still kind of out on him. Sometimes I think he's good, sometimes I'm not so sure. But you never know with Cleveland. They could have like a Cincinnati-type season, in the wakes. I mean, I tend to put them behind Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's better, but, Cleveland's got a Super Bowl window. What's going on, Luke? Yeah, it was insufferable. I do like Tirico also. I like him. But yeah, it was... I especially, and I brought this up earlier, I especially found it funny when they compared Mahomes' performance to Michael Jordan's flu game. Like, oh, it's like the flu game. It's like, no, it's not. It's like, that's nothing like the flu game. It's like, Michael Jordan's didn't have a replacement come in and score for him. He didn't do that. That's ridiculous. He hurt his leg. It's like, he's fine. He's okay. It was a good performance. He played well, but my gosh. What were his stats? 22 of 30, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's what he did. That's not amazing. That's fine. Yeah. He played like a quarterback who was hurt. And they won, and that's great. But, it's like the flu game. It's like, no, the flu game, Jordan scored 38 points on food poisoning. Give me a break. Hey, James, this is what I want. I am mooching. I am totally mooching. Yeah, I agree, Jalen. Denver right now is going hard after Sean Payton. They are going hard after Sean Payton. So, but the thing that Denver needs, they need a coach who can convince Russ to stop holding the dang ball, but they also need an O-line. Like, Russ's problem is he has not had a good offensive line, and he holds the ball too long, which is why he gets sacked constantly. I mean, there is no quarterback who gets sacked as much as he does, ever. I mean, his best season sack-wise, 33 sacks. It's happened twice. He got sacked 51 freaking times this year. It's insane. It's like, get him an O-line and tell Russ, say, hey, Russ, you throw the dang ball. You've got to release it quicker. And I think that's why they're going after Sean Payton so hard. I know, Luke. Goes to Chad Henne. System quarterback. No. He does sometimes. I don't think Joe Burrow does it as much. I think he at times holds it too long. I would agree with you there. But Burrow actually, Burrow when they're healthy, he has a good O-line when they're healthy. It's just right now they're not healthy, so he needs to get rid of the ball quicker. But yeah, he definitely needs to learn how to release it quicker. Because that's gonna cost him. That's gonna cost him in the long run if he's not careful. I mean, I don't know how many sacks he took this year. I mean, I can't imagine it was anything close to what it was like his first season when he was getting the crap beat out of him, or last year when he was getting the crap beat out of him. I'll tell you, since he was fortunate last year that Burrow didn't get hurt, because my gosh, that postseason, holy cow, he was just getting sacked constantly. I mean, who gets sacked 9 times in 2 separate playoff games in the same freaking year? That's unbelievable. Yeah, he got sacked, because, last year he got sacked 51 times. This year it was 41, so... but granted, their offensive line was pretty rough at the beginning of the year, so they didn't patch up until later in the year, but... they're still going to need to... Cincy's still going to need to work on that. They just need to keep guys healthy. I tend to agree. I think Miami would be a really good fit. I mean, because here's the thing with San Francisco. Now, San Francisco, I think, would be the best team for him to be on. Like, that would be the best situation as far as winning the Super Bowl. But Miami would be the best for him as a quarterback, because San Francisco's system is engineered for a fairly mobile quarterback. That's why they've got Garoppolo. He can move around. That's why they have what's-his-face, Trey Lance, because he can move around. Brock Purdy, he can move around. It's kind of catered to guys who can move around in the pocket, whereas that's not really Brady. Now, I still think Brady would be great with them, but Miami is built for get the ball out quick to really fast guys. So, and they are good enough to where if Brady was there, they could win a Super Bowl. I think San Francisco's better for that because they also have a spectacular defense. But as far as the quarterback aspect, yeah, Miami would be a better fit. Yeah, and think about this, Luke. He's got the 8.5% sack ratio, and he's been in the league now, I think, 12 years. I mean, he's closing in on 5. He could have 500 sacks for his career next year. That's ridiculous. Well, Bill's job is only going to be in danger. But I'll say this, what's going to put Bill's job in danger next year is if they don't make the playoffs again. If they miss the postseason again next year, and that's very possible. I haven't seen their schedule yet, but I can guesstimate some of it. They finished in third place, so I can think of some of the teams they'll have to face. But if New England misses the playoffs again next year, I won't be surprised if Kraft says it's time to move on. It's time to hang it up. Because that's not that would be what, 3 out of 4 years since Brady left they've missed the playoffs if that happens next year. And also the bad thing about that would not just be missing the playoffs again, it would be the fact that you will have done so with a ton of cap room this year. I have no idea. I know there's a lot of talk right now about Gerard Mayo being Bill's successor. I know they're trying to get Gerard Mayo locked in for a while because they really like him. The players really like him. A lot of teams are interested in him, so it really feels like they're lining him up to be the successor. Whether that's good or bad, no idea. We'll see. AFC East plays NFC East and AFC West. Oh gosh. Well, yeah. And New England could be in a lot of trouble regardless of what they do. So they're going to have Philly, Dallas, New York, Washington even's going to be hard. I think Kansas City, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos. And then let's see, they'll play, I guess, Pittsburgh next year. Yeah, I got the Steelers. The Colts are crap, so I'm not worried about them. And they'll play some third place team from the NFC also. Yeah. The 17th game is a team that's placed the same as you, and the divisions rotate in the opposite conference. I don't know who it'll be, so it would be what? It could be Atlanta. It could be Detroit. Possibly. Yeah, it could be Detroit. It could be Atlanta. No, Detroit, I guess, finished ahead of Green Bay, didn't they? So it would be possibly Green Bay or Atlanta or whoever finished third in the NFC West. Which is, what, LA or Arizona? One of them? I agree. I hate the 17th game. Like, having the 7th playoff team is... I don't care for that either. But the 17th game is even worse. I really don't like the 17th game. It's like we've already had it demonstrated for the last 2 years why we need 4 preseason games. It's kind of ridiculous. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off now. I'm going to finish editing my Phantom Menace review. Be on the lookout for that. That should be out tomorrow at some point. Hopefully I'll have this finished in the next few hours and I can just have it out by noon tomorrow. But we'll see. If it's the NFC South, then it would be Atlanta. I agree, James, it is. But anywho, I'm going to jump off now. It's been great talking to you guys. I might be streaming again tomorrow. I might be streaming again tomorrow night, assuming my review's done and out and all that. But then again, Aaron's going to do a show in the evening, so we'll see. I'm not positive yet, but we'll see. Y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all again.